I didn't film the installation of Tim's CPU, so here's Aiden doing his.
Then take the plastic thing out.
Yeah, take that whole plastic thing out. Get that out of here.
Like up like that?
No, let's take it out.
You need
Oh,
to,
just
you need to
take it
like
out.
rip this guy off.
Oh.
He's installing the juicer.
Juicers!
Oh my gosh! 1070K juicers!
10 million juicer. Okay.
You're gonna want to drop it that side down.
Wait, so this is a chip? So we eat it?
Lays?
Is,
Alright.
is there any specific
Yes.
way it goes in?
There's an arrow in one of the corners you want to look for.
I see that arrow. Or like a
Yes, that's it.
triangle.
That's it. And you're gonna want to match it up with this arrow right here. So make sure that those corners match. And if they don't, you're cringe. Sorry.
Dude, I'm fucking scared. Like that?
Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
I did
Alright.
the exact same thing opposite.
And then that guy should just drop down, and then you're gonna move that wire back underneath. There's gonna be some pressure. Don't worry about it.
Dude, I feel like I'm gonna snap it and I'm gonna just like...
A lot of this stuff, you're gonna feel that way, and you just gotta like accept it. All right, perfect. There you go. You just install the CPU. Yeah, let's fucking go.
We're gaming!
The next thing is installing the RAM, but I'm not gonna do that. So I'm just gonna put the M.2 in.
That's your rims. What do you...
What is the M.2?
This is your SSD.
Gotcha.
The 90.
My SSD?
Yep, and I did one of these yesterday on my own computer, so this
Awesome.
shouldn't be too bad.
You're taking
This is the M.2.
the RAM sticks.
And we're putting in that thing?
And I have another like...
Underneath this guy here. Now my
SSD.
computer
Okay.
doesn't have one of these.
And we're gonna
This
take
is a
the-
thermal transfer pad. It's just to keep heat away from the thing. It's not very like practical though, so I guess not everyone has them. So we're gonna unscrew that first. Alright, so what you want to do with these guys is... Actually, this is upside down. Line it up this way. First, you want to check how long the M.2 is.
This is too small.
So it's going to be about that long.
I have another
And
one.
you know what?
Thank you.
This guy's really screwed.
Making sure that's tight.
No, I want to unscrew it. It's really in there though, so I'm going to grab a better screwdriver because this one's shit.
Awesome.
Alright, here's what we're going to do.
Yes.
We're just going to like turn it
What the
with
fuck
the
are you
pliers.
doing?
I'm destroying your computer, Tim.
This is what the. This is
This
creative.
is some custom build.
Yeah, holy shit.
The screw has to come off. So I'm just like I gotta turn it off, you know.
Yeah, but like this is...
It might not be pushed on already.
There we go.
This worked?
Yeah, it was really fucking in there. Whoever built this thing like really wanted it to never move ever.
Wow.
Jeff. Or is that the new one or the old one?
This is a new one.
I'm just shit talking Jeff now.
Lol.
Happens.
All right. So you know what? You actually have two M.2 slots here. Now that I realize
Okay.
that you have one closer to the. Don't film me. Get the thing. You have one here, and then
Yeah.
there was one here. All right.
So
which is-
these guys are M.2?
these are PCIe. That's where you put your graphics card.
Okay.
All right. So what I did yesterday, which I didn't realize, is I just didn't like push it in enough. You have to put some pressure on it, and you feel like you're gonna break it because it looks like a Nintendo Switch cartridge,
Yeah.
but you don't.
You don't.
You know what? This plastic thing that's on there doesn't need to be there. I've just realized. So we're gonna take it off. These plastic spacers I found on my motherboard are actually called Q latches, and they were designed to sort of replace the typical spacer screw situation on an M.2 slot. So while I removed mine and my M.2 is working just fine, you should leave yours there and put yours in properly. Plastic part's out, and the screw doesn't look stripped, so we're all good.
Cool.
I've been slapping screws in my pocket. Screws.
So what are we doing right now?
This should just, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the screw onto the screwdriver here, for the SSD. We're gonna sort of slot it in where it's supposed to go, and then put it down as close as we can. Is it not fully? Oh, there we go. All right, I just felt it go in. Oh shit.
So it's this big one.
This one.
So it's both of them.
Hold on.
weighted.
Yeah.
Okay, this is definitely a spacer. And there's random blood on my hand too. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Oh no. That is not. Get into that neck. Perfect.
I wonder if I took the whole spacer out.
It looks like you did. Do you need me to hold that down or something?
You know what? Yeah, this is just the spacer. This isn't even. There's a. Oh, what's that? I think there's supposed to be a screw that goes into this whole situation.
Okay.
So I'm gonna check the bag for the motherboard because the SSD right. Oh, no, my bad. It's supposed to sit like that because we have the whole thing that screws over it, and that'll just hold it in. Here's where I assume if I left my Q latch in, there would have been an advantage. My M.2 kept flopping up as I was putting the heat sink back on, and I assume if I kept the Q latch there, it would have kept that whole thing flush while I was putting that in, so there wasn't a huge difference whether it was there or not.
Okay.
Okay, so here is the thermal pad. that
So now
sits
it's
on top
nice
of
and-
the
nice and
entire
thermal.
SSD. It's gonna keep the thermals down anyways. It is safe to push on that black part, by the way,
Okay.
because that's not the actual like PCB. Okay,
Are you using all the correct vocabulary? Or you're just kind of like saying things.
I'm fairly
This is happening to
certain.
the bottom, and then it's gonna be Gucci.
And you don't have to put that like in that hard. Honestly, I could have just finger tight, like made it finger tight, because the SSD is just gonna sit there.
Right.
All right, so we got the CPU, we got the SSD. I have notes on what
You
to
have
do.
notes.
We got the M2 to install the CPU cooler. This is gonna be the messiest part.
GPU cooler.
We got the Noctua Chroma Black
Juicer.
juicer. Actually, I'm gonna grab the case real quick because
So this is the case.
yes, this is the case.
Nice and
Is this your
red.
first time seeing this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got a nice
It's
red
actually just
strip in
Aiden's
there.
case, but bigger and red.
Wow.
And I got it because it had the red accent. I thought you'd like that.
Did.
Okay, so the CPU cooler, the way we're going to install it, your motherboard's going to sit about here
Okay.
with your CPU, you know, obviously sitting about there-ish.
Okay.
Intake fans, there's a vent on the back of the computer at the very front here.
The back of the computer at the very front.
See that?
Makes an awesome noise when it slides on the table.
We're gonna have the intake fans go so that the fans blow this way, and then we're gonna have some fans at the back and perhaps the top that'll blow air,
I don't
and so
think
the
there's anywhere
airflow
to
will
put
just
it
be
in
like
this one anyway.
that
So,
way.
like,
Okay.
So that means we want the
leave it there.
CPU cooler, which is gonna be a fan, to
Yeah.
be directing air that way, unless it just sits flat. I don't know.
I don't think
Awesome.
so.
So we're gonna find out. This is it. This is your CPU cooler. It's gonna sit on your CPU like this, I
Okay.
believe. Let me double check which direction the air flows. Oh. So the airflow actually goes the other way. So it's actually gonna sit like this, and it's gonna blow air that way.
Okay.
And we have some CPU brackets. We have
Would that be on the mother?
screws? Oh, screws and standoffs. And more screws and standoffs. And the top, or the bottom bracket. So this goes on the back of the motherboard, which we're gonna put on there in just a second.
This is the motherboard.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Some extra brackets for another fan if we wanted that, a standoff, and a Noctua badge for your computer. You can put that on there.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's how they know I'm a gamer.
I know.
Awesome.
We also have some rubber feet for if your rubber feet on these guys get broken for whatever reason. Some
Okay.
literature
For the back?
and more screws and standoffs. God damn. Oh, okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put this guy on the back of the whole situation, and then we're gonna go from there.
Okay.
So I believe these guys are gonna go like this.
Okay.
They're gonna sit above this whole situation. All Alright, when I'm grabbing the motherboard, I'm grabbing it by the I/O. Okay, so here's something to note.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a bracket like this,
We'll turn on.
sometimes it'll just be like three screw holes like this. And it matters which way you screw it in.
Yeah.
You can see there are 3 screws here.
Yeah,
But this one here, it doesn't matter actually. They made it so that it can go either way.
Okay.
So we're just gonna drop it in this way because why not?
Sure. This is onto the back of the motherboard?
Yes. And I think at this point we're gonna use.
Is any of this important? Yeah, we'll throw it up.
Yes.
Ah, I do need the
We're gonna use-
sticker. Where's it? Is it?
I
it's
think
just,
we
like,
use
right
these
there?
guys. Never assume what you're doing is correct. Always read and understand the instructions before you do what you do. Further along in this build, I created issues that I could have easily resolved had I just taken the time to understand the instructions beforehand. So there, it provided some
half a
clips,
terabyte, so I just don't.
and these aren't actually screws. They didn't screw any in here. We're just having the clips sit there to hold it so it doesn't fall out.
Okay.
Dropping these guys in,
No, nothing's in there.
clipping it on. Doesn't seem to matter which direction the clips go. Okay, now we're gonna drop the whole situation through. Wait, what? He's gonna.
So how does this work?
Doing all lined up?
Yeah, the screws are not like parallel directly, so I'm just gonna.
Parallel. So like poking out in different directions?
Yeah. Oh shit, this is a very tight fit. So I'm just gonna have to like force it, unfortunately.
Oh, that's not good. Typically.
You know, sometimes these things happen. It really is just one of those things that like, if you gotta force it, like, you know, obviously be as gentle as you can, but
Yeah.
a lot of things like RAM, you just
You just gotta bully the computer.
Yeah.
It sounds like it just fell out.
This way or this way?
You know
Probably
what?
this way, right?
Are you gonna try to attach it like that?
This is a really dumb
Oh,
idea.
yeah.
Actually, I'm not gonna do that
Yeah.
because I could scratch the back of the motherboard.
Put this
So I'm gonna
one
hold
in
this guy.
Yeah.
No.
I'm just gonna go quick.
All right, there we are.
Still
And
in.
these are the back plate screws.
So that goes into
These
the
guys
bottom,
go in
and
so
this
that your
screws-
CPU cooler doesn't squish your CPU. This is where if I had understood the instructions, I would have known to use the other standoffs used in the bag instead of these blue ones, and I wouldn't have risked crushing my CPU. They just sit there.
So the screws poking out, at least putting the blue things on.
All right, now these brackets go down. We're gonna want them to sit like this.
That's also important. That's
Call me
the-
fuck miser. Whatever I touch turns to cum in my clutch.
What do we got there? That's the fan.
It's gonna sit like this.
The
No, it's
main-
gonna sit the other way, right?
Actually,
Because
very simple.
it's gonna blow air that way.
Yeah.
Let's not use that, please.
So here's the messy part. We're gonna use this thermal compound on the whole situation.
Thermal compound.
The stick.
Yeah. It was looking like it'll screw out actually though. Oh, there it is. That was the
Okay.
cap. Okay.
So now we're just gonna inject it.
About that much?
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Awesome. So a nice, good.
I remember first time I did my first computer, it was everywhere.
If I just put that.
We're gonna
So now that metal plate's going where the goop is.
It's probably gonna be.
Yeah. And it's actually just gonna hand screw in there.
Oh yeah.
Wheel
Actually, you
in.
know what? The easier way to do this is.
That's
to-
facing the right way, right? The air blows those way.
Yes. We're gonna actually it doesn't technically matter which way we put it. We're gonna
Now
take the
it is.
fan off because then the screw's exposed and we can just screw it in, and that's gonna make our lives a little bit easier.
Sweet.
All right, this part there isn't a whole much of a trick to it. You go a little bit on one side and then you go a little bit on the other side, so that you keep it all straight and it doesn't fuck you. You know what? I totally forgot. You need to put these guys on so this whole thing is actually stable. The reason it comes with so much shit is because there's, you know, a bunch of different motherboards out there. Yeah, you just gotta take a little bit of pressure, and then you'll make a little harder. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna check out the spread on the
I don't think that helps.
thermal paste first.
So now the goopy stuff is all.
You know what? I think I might want to have a little bit more because you can see it's not over the entire situation.
Yeah.
Oh shit. That's okay. I'm gonna put this back down and see how it. Alright, actually, you know what? I think it's gonna push out a little bit more if we just screw it in. So I'm just gonna. That feels solid enough to me. Alright, that's the CPU cooler, which is probably the most stressful part.
Oh, found it.
So there are pins on here that are
All three.
labeled
Pokeyati guys?
CPU fan. That's this guy right here.
CPU fan.
That's where this one's gonna plug into.
There's no way.
So here I accidentally ended up putting the CPU fan into case fan 1's pins. You'll typically find the CPU pins to the top right of the CPU next to the RAM slots, which I have pictured here. The CPU fan is in red, and the RAM slots are sort of those vertical slots right next to it.
You're gonna be able to read it here, but
It's literally labeled right
That
underneath the
doesn't
plugs.
Look awful. It's
Actually,
yeah,
you can see it. Yeah, you can
yeah.
see it.
It's just upside
This
down.
is a little weird that's on the front though.
Yeah, like why? I want to hide it. I don't want to have to look at Samsung on the side of it.
I'm trying to think about the best way to mount this so that the cable isn't just like
Goes like
in the way.
yeah.
okay. So
Maybe if
you
I.
need a cable here.
Oh, that doesn't look bad.
Here from the
Let's do that.
motherboard, and another
And
cable at the GPU.
A lot of fans
Okay.
have arrows on them,
Screw it in.
Arrow?
which tell you which direction the arrow blows. So just
Okay.
for a sanity check, I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's
we're
be
just going.
100% sure.
That looks important.
So again,
Oh, actually, you know what?
the front of the case is actually going to be here, or not the front of the case, but you know this side where the intake's going to be is going to be right here,
Okay.
and the back of the case is going to be
Very important.
over here, and so we want airflow to go like that.
Literally.
So that's why I checked for the arrow.
Awesome.
It looks like that looks pretty good.
So CPU fan is installed, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, it will be
I think so.
important. I know.
Okay.
Next step.
CPU cooler.
It's gonna
I think
This
we're gonna
comes in the
start
later spot,
plugging
or
things
should
into the
I just
motherboard.
be.
Okay. We're gonna put the motherboard inside the computer case. Holy shit. Okay, so typically you'd want to put this on or in the box where it came. We don't have that, so I'm just gonna
Put it on this table.
put it on this table and forget about it until we need it again. I
Awesome.
don't want to scratch it. You know what?
Alright.
We're gonna look at the back of the case as well because it looks like there's some wires back there
Oh,
which
for
are gonna be
this?
important.
Oh, okay.
Did you know in Squid Game they were standing on tempered glass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that. This guy could tell the difference between the two glasses by looking at
So he
him.
was a glass expert.
He was a glass guy, yeah.
That's awesome.
Which means that the game wasn't fair. Except it was.
So this is the back.
Here's the back. These are the two wires for the fans they have routed there. And they've actually already routed them to the back of the case. Where they're going to... These actually should go in the motherboards. I don't know why the fuck they have them here, but... Yeah, they're going to the motherboard.
So what's after this? The motherboard? We're finishing that up.
I suspect these might be the USB plugs.
You want to wire it first, and
This
then.
is USB 3.0.
It's easier.
I drew down what it's supposed to look like. You can see the one in the corner is actually blacked out
The one in
There.
the corner.
of the blue. The one dot in the corner there is actually there's no plug there.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's USB 3.0. This guy, Jiminy Cricket. I've never seen this before.
Jimmy
This might be a USB-C. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I mean, basically, we're looking at the shit that's in the front here. Okay, these two are front, or this one's front audio.
Front audio.
This is front panel. This might be your RGB. It's not. The front panel refers to the power button, the LED indicator that's on the power button, as well as the reset button that a lot of computers include as well. I think since, you know, they already sort of put all the wires evenly in there, I'm going to not necessarily worry about it. For now, I'm just going to put the motherboard in, and we can do cable management after it's in.
Okay.
All right, we're going to lay the case like this, and the motherboard is going to go into here. The big thing about it that you want to worry about is not scratching it on any standoff that they have. So actually,
So like that's a standoff.
yeah, I think this guy might have to go. Oh, you know what? I'm full of shit. This one actually did have a screw hole on there, and I didn't have to take it off.
Right there.
I'm gonna grab it by the CPU cooler. Actually, you know what? I think that this fan here is just gonna be in the way, so I'm gonna remove it before we do that.
All right. Get rid of any obstructions.
I'm gonna hold this actually while I do this.
Do you want me to?
Actually, yeah, do you mind holding it? 'Cause
Yeah.
I gotta make sure this is gonna. I'm going at an angle here. God damn it.
Do you want to do it now?
Hold on. The wire's getting in the way.
The wire of the fan.
The wire of the fan. I might. do that in there. Okay, can you hold that?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Alright. Grabbing it by
Nick,
the CPU cooler.
CPU cooler. Earlier or later, what do you think is going to be easier with this thing?
Definitely just put it in. Just get it over with.
Get her done. How do you know you're lining everything up when you can't see anything?
Because I'm getting the I/O shield in here. Actually, you know what? I might have to take the I/O. Here, I was worried I would have to take the I/O shield off the motherboard. That's that little metal piece that goes over every USB or HDMI, just any port in the back of the motherboard. Turns out this one I didn't have to do that, so there you go. Taking the plastic off the front I/O.
Looks nice.
I was just bugging about it. Alright.
There's like a sticker kind of thing.
So,
It's gonna slide in here.
alright. So the big thing about putting this in is you hold it at about a 10-degree angle so that when you're sliding it in, I'm holding it so it's angled this way, by the way. When you slide it in, it doesn't, get scratched by anything.
So you slide it like in a little bit angled.
Go like this, and then once it's in there, lay it flat.
Okay.
Does anything in here need to come out?
Okay, so there are screws that should have come with the case, which I imagine are in this box, and that's what we're going to use to screw on the motherboard. Okay, it looks like you got a USB adapter, which is great, some other wires, and the screws, as well as I'm feeling some literature, which we can worry about later or never, I don't know. It's probably warranty and then maybe some installation instructions, which we don't have to care about.
That seems annoying to do.
Are those zip ties?
Yes, this is for cable management. Awesome. I think these are it because there's 8 of these and 8 holes there, so
They were
that's just a
very
dull list.
nondescript.
This doesn't seem to want to screw in all that well.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. So
Yeah, I don't know that this is the right screw. There's other screws in there that are a little bit smaller, which I'm going to try and see if those fit.
Probably just hide it.
The reason I don't want to just force those other screws in is because it might destroy the mounting thing, which would be atrocious if it actually turned out that these are the right screws.
Right.
So
It's worth a shot.
So these are yeah. Oh, actually,
Those seem really small.
that looks fine.
they do, but actually, that's in there, so that it's got to be these.
Okay. So we were using the two chunky screws.
We got this.
The fuck is that?
It's gonna hold the screw, so I can drop it in there
Okay.
without using my ape hands.
Right. Disgusting monkey hands.
Am I fucking up your visibility? No, you're all good.
Barely see me putting the screw in
That's probably good enough. We can just poke it with this until it gets in. There we go.
It's on remote somewhere.
Yeah, I'm just there's one that in there, but that goes on. That's weird.
Dude, just because I get audio boost and you don't,
Oh, you don't think we get audio boost?
don't come crying to me when you don't get audio.
We easily get audio boost.
What the fuck does audio boost mean?
It says audio boost on the back of my old motherboard.
Oh.
With like a little explosion thing next to it.
Wait, really? Where?
Oh, I see
At the
it.
bottom there.
Fucking audio boost, dude.
Look.
Oh, we're gonna screw this in. That's right, these were for the fan.
Right, so fans going back in.
Some more.
You don't like the fan?
There's one on the top here, which honestly doesn't seem like it needs to be there.
We fucking this idiot.
Because the airflow is gonna go this way at you,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just like there on the side of the CPU cooler, just chilling.
Maybe it's trying to let the air out.
Maybe it would be better though to put it in the front so it blows cool air in.
Maybe.
At this point, I think we're gonna start plugging fans into motherboard.
I have a question, teacher. Can I go make some food? I'm hungry.
Do you want me to order pizza?
Yeah, let's order pizza.
Let's order pizza.
I was gonna order pizza for the boys.
Okay, we're back.
Is it the right orientation?
Yeah.
All right, we routed some cables through. I'm gonna plug in the USB 3.0 first.
It's the blue one, right?
Yep. And again, this is the one with the blanked out pin, so we just line that in. So it's important that you put it in as flat as possible because you can bend the pins. Oh, there we go.
Heard
All
a
right.
nice snap to that.
That was done. So apparently these should just line up with the pins. I'm gonna double check the manual. So there's a cable here that we didn't know was fat.
That one.
That's what it looks like. It goes right there. I don't know if it matters which direction. I don't think
It looks like it doesn't.
it looks like it does. You know what? The way they did this is really dumb because they routed all the cables down from up here, and now I'm trying to pull it up, and it's not pulling up. So we're gonna figure it out.
What does it keep imagining, boys?
Yeah, why the fuck did they do that? I mean, look, I like that all the wires are neatly like there, but this one realistically has no business being here. We'll take this one out and then retwist this back on.
Well, this is gonna be a bitch. I can already tell.
We might have to do that for the other cables as well. But for now, we're just running this.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Is that really an optimal cable position?
Well, there's a couple ways we could do this. I could do it so it comes over there,
Just throw it in.
or I could do it like this. And I feel like
I don't know, bro. I think 32.
I think this makes the most sense to do it like this. Because otherwise the cable's just coming over. That should just slide in there. Oh! Okay.
Yeah, it looks like
Okay.
632 flat just by eyeball.
So if you
It's
look
just
at this,
a
it
little
looks symmetrical from this angle, but
Maybe
it's actually not because you can see this side is thinner than that side. So I just need to figure out
I didn't even see what you were talking about. Hold on.
this metal
Oh.
edge is thinner than this metal edge.
True.
So I think it goes in this way. Man, Tim, I'm
Oh, it's not going in.
this. It looks like the thicker side should go in this way. Are you sure?
Yeah.
So these
I guess
have
I'm looking at it
Wi-Fi
from the
things,
angle,
So I don't
but-
need it, but I would like to have it.
Maybe you're right. I think you're right, actually. Oh, that feels.
Dude.
That felt right.
I'm a computer building guy.
You're a genius. You're a cum slut. All right, that look. Come on.
I have it just.
That's in there.
That's ordered. Not to
That's
mention
solid.
there's gonna be.
Oh,
Not to mention there's gonna be a fat man sticking right there.
Fat hoe.
All of these things are labeled, so it's just a matter of finding where is where.
Game on.
Yeah, dude.
love that.
Look at that. You got some little pack. You got a little Pac-Man guy here.
Hold on. Fuck, I don't even know where I'm looking. There.
You got the little Pac-Man guy.
Dude, that's awesome. Where the fuck is the HD audio?
No idea. No audio. Okay, AAFP. That's what we're looking for.
AAFP?
That's this guy.
Where the plugged it in here?
That is not the cable. Oh, here it is. HD audio is going right there.
Fair enough. That's
And it's going to go the other direction. So, this way. You know what? I'm not liking the way this cable's coming out there. We're actually gonna route it
Ugly
underneath.
cable management.
We're gonna route it underneath the motherboard. We're gonna have it come from down here. I think. Hopefully the power supply. Actually, we can have it come
Can't
from
see
down here.
fucking anywhere. Hopefully that's. Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Maybe we should put the power supply in there. No, we're fine. I think there should be enough space to just have this
Okay.
guy snag in there.
It looks.
If not, I'll kill myself. But you know, that's
Part of PC building.
that is part. Suicide is always part of PC building. That's just a fact.
Unless you're lying. Like third or fourth lines meme.
Linus Tech Tips. No, I'm pretty sure he's committed suicide a couple times, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, man.
Rip line.
Rip line.
Is that in?
No magnets.
Yeah, I wish I had a magnetic screwdriver for this. If I were to redo this, I would definitely get one of those.
I bought an iFix like a few years ago. I was really fucking with it.
Yeah. Alright. Fans. Which aren't going to reach down to the bottom. How the fuck am I going to get those down there? Is CHA fan just like these guys?
Chop.
Chop.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. So we have case fan 2 and 3. Where's case fan 1? You know what? I'm going to wire this guy up to case fan 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Maybe I'll do 3 actually. I'm gonna wire this guy up to 3.
So he goes around down over there.
I'm not gonna be able to wire him up to 3.
Not gonna be able to wire them up.
It's just
for it.
not gonna route that long. So I'm gonna route. I'm gonna have to find where the fuck that. Come on now. I mean, it's nice that they have all this built-in cable management, like already done for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like the way they have the top fan, so I'm gonna unscrew it. Got the fan off. We're gonna move it here. I don't know how they slide in though. So I think we're just gonna start screwing it in.
know like the difference between no, they have this. And that's cool. That's also my, and that's definitely
You pulling my dick, bro. You know what? That's solid enough. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. It's solid enough. Look, that's there.
That's not
just
going
there.
anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. We're gonna figure out where the fuck we can wire this where it's not gonna be awful. All right, this is technically the. I would consider this to be the first fan, but the other fan can't plug into those two places without. Wait, no, I totally can. What do you mean? What am I talking about? This side. Right.
Are you?
Totally can.
Are you? Okay.
If I go underneath the motherboard.
Underneath the
So
motherboard
wait,
again.
If I'm just not stupid like NTXT is.
Oh, from the bottom, like down here.
That's the other way.
I mean,
You sure this will reach?
yeah, just go underneath.
Oh, I see now. I see now.
Actually, I don't even know if I have to do that. I can just route it down from this side here, and obviously we'll clamp it down later. And it's gonna come up. I actually want it to come out somewhere over here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I believe. Is that where the fans are? Yeah, that's where the fans are. Okay. Have it come up somewhere like that.
We probably only need all of them actually.
Leave me behind, dog.
All right. So these guys are just 3-pin connectors, and these fans are 4-pin connectors. But what you can do is you can just put the 3 pins into the 4 pins, and it'll work. CPU fan. CPU fan. CPU fan. Wait, then what the fuck was this? Oh wait. Oh. I did plug it into the wrong place. This is case fan 1.
All right.
That was CHA fan. And then this is CPU fan. So wait, how did I have this?
You wanna watch me draw a dick on the CPU?
Yes.
I gotta see this. Yeah, dude.
Wonderful. All right.
We're men. Goes there. All right, and then we just gotta tuck this cord underneath the fan so that it's not exposed. It doesn't look cringe. That's probably good enough.
Okay.
Okay. This is CPU fan 1 or case fan 1. Plug the CPU fan into
Get
it.
in there with my thingy. Okay.
So we're gonna route
It
this
had a fella's head,
behind.
right?
Honestly, maybe this is cringe, but I kind of want to just route it up there, and then just have it go down here and it's not really all that visible.
It just makes everything else easy.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. I really do. Just kind of push it so it's snagged underneath this bracket here. And then... Sorry. Fucking hit me, bitch.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck you, I'll hit you all I want, bitch. Alright, there we go. Perfect. It's awesome. And we can even... actually, no. That's not a thing, but we can strap that down later. That looks pretty clean.
Mega parts.
We're not going to worry about those then. I think everything's plugged in as far as just connections go. So we're going to do the power supply now.
Right now. You don't wait for lunch.
What? Like a RGB fan controller.
No,
You don't.
I don't.
I
I want
want-
to get this done.
I want lunch. So this is the
wait.
power supply.
No, this is the power supply.
That's the power supply. Did you graduate? Did you graduate? Fuck. You walking into random dumb shit. All right. Here's our power supply. So what the fuck is this? An RGB fan.
Yeah, I know. You got an RGB fan on your power supply, and I just put it in backwards. All right, we have to screw in your power supply, which I know.
Does it matter?
Yes.
Like, it's got to be these guys because there's 4 of them, right? Because that worked
Right.
last time, right? When
Yeah.
there was 8 of them, and then it
We
turned
tried
out those
it and it
weren't
did
the
it
right
right.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this has got to
So
be.
this
it.
has to be right.
Yeah.
Those aren't tall enough.
Actually, I'm not going to screw these in yet. And the reason is because if the cables become cringed to plug in, I want to be able to move it.
Move it, move it.
We lost them already.
What are we doing?
How? Oh, yeah. That's
Plugging
right.
in the
You dropped them
24-pin
into the computer.
connector.
Where's the...
I feel like I'm living in an alternate reality because clearly you see these two, right?
Let's do.
And they're supposed to go this way because that's where the notch is, right?
Right.
But they don't. They just did it that way. So there's no way that can't be right.
Couldn't you just
Excuse me.
do that?
Well, the reason I can't do that is because the clips will just not go in. It doesn't go in that way.
You're right. You have the weapon.
No, you know Overwatch?
Yeah, look. That gives awesome.
We went to when we went to see Spider-Man.
That looks awesome. How the fuck is this gonna go into the computer? There's cables everywhere.
Yes.
There are cables everywhere,
Oh,
and it's going to be messy,
these?
but then we're going to clean it up. Unfortunately, they have all of these things labeled on the sides. CPU. So I'm just plugging them in where they go. PCIe's graphics card, because that's the slot. That's the name of the slot that the graphics card goes into. Yeah, this is perfect because you have an SSD, but it's just a normal SSD. It's not an M.2, so it's basically going to sit in there like a normal hard drive.
Okay.
These 2 are going to go into there, but it only needs the one plug.
Yeah.
Plug that in like that. All right.
Perfect.
This is what's called a modular power supply, by the way, which
Oh,
means that instead of having all the wires just on there, it gives you all the wires extra, and you can plug in as many as you need.
Awesome.
So you don't just have a bunch of extra wires sitting in your case. I want to worry about this guy first. This guy's gonna go on this side of the motherboard. So I think I'm gonna route it through there and then plug it into there. The reason I think it has to go in this way is because the Corsair logo's the right direction this way.
So you're going off the Corsair logo?
On the back, and the screws line up.
Well, the screws lining up is probably more important than the logo.
No, I think the logo is more important, but yeah, that just looks right to me. That's just right. Okay. So here's the Big Daddy. And that's
Father.
this is easily this is like what it was designed for. All right, we're gonna slide it behind.
Jesus Christ.
This is the Anaconda. The penis.
Wait, so what the fuck did you do? Because like in and out.
All right, I snaked it up through this part here,
Yeah.
and now when I flip it over, there it is. It's right there. Okay. So actually it's supposed to go.
So where's it supposed to go?
Oh no.
What just dropped? Oh, the power supply. This is the big boy.
The big chungus.
Should just clip it there. There we go. That's in there. So
I had that on my old.
we're just gonna try to make as little of this cable visible as possible because that's what
Does it not
people
have it sometimes?
told me was good cable management. That looks okay. I mean,
I use them because
actually, you know what? I want to put this cable underneath.
Easier to plug them both in at the same time.
I want to put it underneath this cable. The reason I want to do that is because that just looks better, in my opinion.
Fuck, man.
And that's back in there.
You just said fuck Maine and then looked right at me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I'm seeing things, Aiden. I'm seeing things that are making my brain wish I had plugged this in differently. Because I could have just routed it through there, but that's okay.
After doing the snack.
I can unplug it.
No fucking shot. Oh man, dude, I'm never getting to play Mario.
No. I'm having enough trouble lining both of them up. Do you want to try?
I'm thinking this guy's gonna come up through here. And then you'll snake around to the front of the motherboard and plug in like that.
This is Cal's response to the thermal cog.
It's gonna swing away on the... Alright, the power supply is gonna fall out when I pull this back, but I think it's more important to see
Andrew
this is
added
CPU
me in the
plug.
Minecraft
It's going
chat,
up
and he
to
said,
the top
imagine
left.
upgrading your PC but still sucking at Wordplan.
One right there.
Dude, you're such a terrible cameraman.
What the fuck are you talking about, bitch?
You're so bad.
What do you mean? What, how can I? Okay, actually, you know what? Here. All right, my hand's right here. All right, get a good angle of that. Oh yeah, killer angle. I can really see everything. Fuck you, bitch.
I think we got everything plugged in that's actually in the computer right now. At this point, we're gonna grab your computer, strip the parts that we need, and
actually?
then go from there.
Right now.
Right now. Okay. This is the SSD that was in his previous computer, and in this case, they just go on the back.
Fancy.
That's super important. There we go. And then we're gonna just grab this screw here. By the way, my screw organization's not great, but
It's gotten worse over time. So that doesn't have to plug into anything? It's just good.
actually it does have to plug into a couple things. We've got power here, and then we're also gonna need a SATA drive that'll plug into the motherboard, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, we have these guys. I'm not gonna plug that in quite yet though, because I also have to put in the hard drive, and then I'll figure out how to do that. Yeah, so usually the hard drive actually goes into something, and then that goes in here, but
Okay, so
this is
that's
so
for the-
flush, I
that's
wonder
for
that they just want me to slot it. Oh yeah, it looks like it just slots in.
There should be one called CPU.
Okay, so it looks like I can unscrew the whole hard drive tray, which is going to be worthwhile because I can take this whole thing out, and then I'll have better access to the screws here. God damn. Yeah.
You're trying to keep the screwdriver in place and rotate the hard drive around it. Hard drive holder. Is that working at all?
I don't know if it is.
Oh,
I guess
we
it did
got
work.
it, baby.
It just gave me more like, what would you call
Leverage.
leverage.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That is a Jeff fucking screw, dude. Holy
They
shit.
Jeffed that screw, brother.
They Jeff that screw?
They Jeffed the... Yeah, this is like one that came with the fucking thing.
It took off the paint when we got rid of it.
They Jeffed it, bro.
All right, what's up, bud? What's up next?
We're screwing the hard drive into the tray. A lot of, well, not a lot. Some computers will have like a thing that you can just easily pull out
So now that that's in,
and then screw your hard drive in and then slide it back in. It's called like a hot
Pulling out is not
swappable. Pulling out is an art, Tim.
It's more of an art than a science.
I feel like that's whatever. That's okay. That's solid.
Yep. So we put her back in.
Oh, not good enough. All right.
That's in?
Yep. And now we're basically going to be putting in all the fun stuff.
you see?
Like RAM.
RAM and
Like, I
graphics
don't
card.
know what else to
How is graphics card fun?
Because that's
I
like
think
what
we're
makes
done.
it a gaming
Yeah, is that
PC.
Okay. So you say by fun stuff you mean like the gaming?
Yeah. We're going to
Fuck,
be putting
like the
in
gaming.
I think we're done.
You think you're done?
I think we're done.
Nice.
Do we want to try it?
Yeah, go ahead, try it.
All right.
In this next clip, you're going to see me plug in a wire from the power supply to the hard drive and the SSD. Typically, these plugs have multiple plugs in them, so I can plug just one wire into both those drives. But it wasn't going to reach, so I was trying to organize which ones I want to use. We didn't get great footage of this part because Aiden had just finished building his PC that he was building alongside mine, and so Tim was focused on that. I think I got it. I just need to push it. There we go. All right. So each of these things is a power connector, but this wasn't reaching from.
It wouldn't reach from here
this
to
would reach.
there?
This will reach.
Yeah, that's what it's not very long.
This one
at all.
wasn't reaching though. See that? This one's different.
Oh, that one's kind of tiny, yeah.
We're actually gonna exchange them.
Exchange. What are you doing right now?
Oh, really?
Making sure these wires fit. And honestly, the wire job isn't, like, in retrospective, exactly what I would have wanted, but it's good enough.
Okay.
And actually, I want this guy to come down. Actually, let's see. I'm gonna think about where the graphics card is going. Because basically, good wiring is you don't see it in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's somewhat organized.
Okay.
So the graphics card's gonna go in
Turn it off.
Oh.
like this. No, it's gonna go in like this.
Yeah,
it's
so
gonna
we
go in like
scratch
this.
the fuck out of the motherboard or whatever. The circuit board.
No, it's going in like
Works.
this. It's gonna fuck the
That's
circuit
good.
board.
Yeah.
And that's where the pin's gonna be. Sort
Yeah.
of right in the middle there. So how do we want to do this? I guess yeah, we'll just come out there and then go over. I don't know.
What's up?
So
So is the other power, the other stuff work?
go back around.
And then you guys need to
This is the graphics card labeled PCIe.
place the one.
And we're gonna stick it to the front
Fuck.
You want to do
here
I want to.
and just route
be
it
right back.
over to the
Thank
other
you.
side. I'm gonna be a little bit more organized in the back here then. Alright, that's looking a little bit neater.
In the front?
In the back.
Okay.
And here's the thing, the back doesn't necessarily matter, you know, because you're not gonna see it.
Yeah.
But just in case I need to change anything in the future, it'll be nice to be somewhat organized.
Okay. This is just like managing wires, right?
Yeah. This is the PCIe cable. I'm just getting this.
Okay.
Is this... Ah, there we go. This is cool because it came with that just there.
It looks fucking rat nest, but that's okay.
We're gonna put it at the top. PCIe Express thing. We could also take the network card and put it in here in your computer, but there's no need to because this motherboard has onboard Wi-Fi,
Okay.
which is actually probably better than what you have there.
Yeah, probably true. Yeah, my network card isn't great.
I need to get rid of these two guys. They're in the way.
Which thing?
Okay, so when you put this in, you want to make sure that these two guys don't stick out of the case, but they also go around the motherboard.
Wait, whoa. Say that again.
These two guys are going to go down next to the motherboard, but they can sometimes like get caught right here. Do you see that?
Yeah.
On the outside of the case, you don't want that. You want them to go flush.
Inside.
And this is very similar to RAM. You just kind of,
Poke her in.
make sure this tab's down on the outside here. Get your graphics card and, just kind of line it up. And once it's there, you push. And the tab should go in. And then you're done. That's your
Those two
graphics
little
card.
guys aren't poking out.
I totally forgot how this was in.
I think it would go like this, right?
I think it was like this way though.
Well, like you say that, but
Yeah, there it is.
that's
Wait.
right?
Oh no, it's not.
That's stupid. I have no idea.
It's okay. Some graphics cards have 4 pins, in which case you would use these two guys together.
Yep.
But this one only has 3, so we just plug in the.
Get down or like take out or like feel
Oh,
like
okay, I kind of see that.
I'm getting
Is that okay?
That's so fucking stupid. It'll be in the middle of the fucking
There we go.
shit.
I think that's the best you're gonna get.
Okay.
Do you guys have any fucking idea how the fuck this screws in?
Probably.
Oh no, I see it. Okay. I think it's supposed to go this way though. And
No, wait, it's supposed to go
not.
that way.
Because I
Dude,
feel
you
like
just had it.
yeah, I did just have it. You're right. Like you're right. Mine is completely different than this one, so I'm just not used to it. All right, these guys,
Wait, so that's just in now?
you don't have to jeff them. Yeah, that's in.
Oh.
You don't have to jeff these screws. They're just like an extra layer of like keeping these guys in.
Gotcha.
I really could have left that out and your computer would have been fine, but
Gotta be 100%.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to just leave it out. Because then you just have a random gap in which dust could get into your computer.
It's pretty embarrassing how long it took for you to get to that screen.
I know, Tim.
Probably not it.
Last thing we're doing is the RAM, which is right here.
Goes in there, right?
Actually, it's going over here.
Oh,
Right
I
next to the CPU
suck.
cooler.
Yeah, I'm going over there.
So RAM's actually probably the easiest thing to put into a computer.
I know, because I've done it.
So we ended up losing the footage for this next clip, but that's okay because I actually put the RAM in the wrong slots. So basically how you know which slots to put the RAM into is labeled on the motherboard. For example, you can see I've sort of circled where it is on the motherboard that we're using. Typically you'll find it next to the RAM slots and it'll tell you which ones to use first. If there's any confusion about this, I would look up in the manual and see. I'm sure there's some information about that and how to read the instructions in the manual. Another big thing about RAM is it doesn't go in any direction. The slot that's in the RAM looks like it's in the middle of the card, but actually it's a little bit off-centered, so you got to make sure you line that up correctly before you give it a firm push. And just like the graphics card, those tabs will push down and it'll be in. I guess the last thing to note is old RAM, there will be slots on either side of the RAM that you can push out, but a lot of newer motherboards only have slots or tabs rather to push on one side of those things. Overall, this is probably the simplest part, and I think you should be fine either way. If your computer doesn't boot, I would suggest checking the RAM first, because more than likely you just put them in the wrong slot. So with that done, the PC was officially built, and I had to get going, so I left it to everyone else who was still there to test out my PC build. And that is when disaster struck. The PC would not turn on, and there's a couple reasons for this. Obviously, the RAM was in the wrong spot, as I mentioned before, but after that was fixed, there was still no change. There are a number of reasons why this could be happening. The power supply could be totally broken, the motherboard connections could be off, or even the CPU could be destroyed. So after they inspected the computer, it turns out that all of the pins on the CPU had been completely destroyed. They all fell off. Except it turns out the CPU we were using doesn't have any pins. It just has flat connection points that sit on the motherboard. So if that wasn't the issue, what was? Well, after looking back at my build, I found that the standoffs on my CPU cooler were actually the wrong size by about, I'd say, half a centimeter. And, well, that still had the potential to crush the CPU, so I had to inspect it myself. After inspection, I saw that there was a part that looked damaged, as if the whole contact had just been rubbed off. And so, you know, at this point, it's sort of been a roller coaster of, well, did I break it and did I not? And it looked like I did. At this point, I was honestly pretty depressed. This was my first time trying to build a PC by myself, and it had just blown up in my face, with the most expensive and the most important component just completely getting destroyed by my negligence. So at this point, there was nothing much I could do but go to warranty and see what they could do.
If you've ever dealt with warranty, you'll know that the last thing they want to do is actually replace your product, so they told me that it was possible that I could just clean off whatever I thought was damaged. And at this point, since I caused the damage, there wasn't much I could do, so I just rubbed it down with some alcohol, and it looked like what I observed as exposed metal was actually thermal paste that had been squished to the front of the CPU when the CPU cooler was placed down. So with that cleaned off, it looked like there might be some hope for this PC build. Up until this point in the build, I thought I had completely screwed the pooch. So I took Tim's old components that I had scavenged from his old computer and I just put them back. So I had to grab those. I also found that I could update the BIOS on the motherboard without the CPU even being in it. And so I was able to flash the BIOS to the motherboard via a USB port on the back. And that's to make it compatible with this new CPU that I'm using. After I did that, I put the CPU in. And I just wanted to test that CPU worked, so I grabbed the RAM sticks and put those in as well. And after that, I tested it, and it fucking booted. It actually fucking booted. And so it was pretty late in the night at this point, and I was tired as fuck. But I had to see if it would run Windows. The past couple of nights had been absolute torture, but at this point, I was able to say that I got this computer to run Windows 10, and I was content enough to just go to bed knowing that the next day all I had to do was put the graphics card as well as the
hard drive back into the computer and it would work. This is where things got a little weird. I put the graphics card in the hard drive back in, and when I went to turn on the computer, it turned off just as soon as I pressed the power button. And it really felt like I was back at square one here. This was exactly how it was behaving just before I had done all of this work to get it to work again. And for some reason, the graphics card and hard drive were the reason for it after I had looked at literally everything else. So I switch around, I test some components, and I narrowed it down to the power cable for the hard drive. It turns out that that particular power cable that I got was broken, and it would drain the battery as soon as I turned it on. So after all this, after all that searching I had done, it turned out to just be a faulty power cable. Now, this isn't to say that the things I changed weren't worth changing. Of course, if I didn't change the standoffs, there would still be excess pressure on the processor. If I hadn't updated the BIOS on the motherboard, well, the CPU just wouldn't have been compatible. And it was good that I got that thermal paste off the front of the CPU. That might have affected performance, I'm not sure. This is to say, though, that there was a lot of unnecessary stress that could have been avoided had I just been more confident in the process. So there you go. That's my PC build. Now there's a lot that I left out here. For a while I thought my front panel connector had been destroyed, so I was actually shorting my motherboard to turn it on. Obviously I thought the power supply was broken, so for a while I had to figure out exactly how to test that it was working, and then I ended up putting a paper clip inside my power supply to test it out, look it up, it's real. And there was just a bunch of taking things out, putting things back in, screwing, unscrewing, and tireless hours of trying to figure out what exactly was wrong. Though this video doesn't necessarily show it, this is a story of perseverance. There was a lot of times where I thought I had officially fucked it and I'd given up. I really didn't think I was gonna make this video. That's why there's a lot of footage that isn't here, because I spent a lot of that time depressed, manically trying to fix the problem when I really thought deep down I'd seriously fucked things up. So this is all to illustrate that, you know, computers are hard, and it's not gonna necessarily work immediately after you set it up. There's gonna be a lot of time where you really have to persevere through the thick of it, and a lot of the time you're not going to really know what the hell is wrong with it, and you're going to have to sit with, well, what do I do next? For a while, there were days that I didn't work on this because I really had no idea what the hell I was going to do next. But, you know, you got all the pieces that you need to make the computer right in front of you. It's just a matter of figuring out how they go together and how to make it work. And there's nothing wrong with taking more time than you anticipated to make this. It just makes it all the more rewarding once you finally get that son of a bitch running. tell me you're recording. Okay. You are! You're recording yourself making a fucking mini kit out of Lego.
A mini kit.
So this is the extra SATA cable we didn't end up needing.